Ladies and gentlemen, cool gas blowback for you here today. And it's quite possibly a gas blowback that I was maybe slightly more excited for than the XM5. Now, I will be doing more content on the XM5, but I'm in no rush because I only have 2 gas mags for the thing. I can't order more, and apparently the next production run that's going to be landing is in April this year. So that gun's kind of God, we'd be lucky if we can run this gun within a year of me buying it, but it is what it is. I've tried to buy mags for that thing in various shops over in Hong Kong and such, and they'll take your money. They don't tell you it's a pre-order, but it's a pre-order. If you want anything from Toxicant on the XM5 now, you're waiting until April, so just be careful who you're buying from. But there was a company that I almost bought a load of XM5 mags off, and I didn't, and I'm kicking myself now because I should have done. But I did buy something else off them because I logged into their website one day, and I think you all know what this is. This is the F.N. Hurstel Scar Mark II MWS from none other than Guns Modify and Cybergun. And I'm very, very excited for this. I did wait a little bit for it to be delivered. There's many people all over the internet that have got theirs first, but I didn't pre-order it. I just, bought it as and when it was in stock, and I bought this from 6mm. And got very lucky. They've declared it, I think they declared it about $120. So flew straight through customs. Probably one of the quickest packages, of a replica I've had through customs. And yeah, so we've got a manual, we've got some stickers, self-explanatory. We all know how these things work. However, put these to one side, we'll put a sticker on the bench. There is a tag on the gun that you need to be aware of, and this is how it comes in the box. Hopefully you all can see that very clearly. I went with the tan model because I don't know why you wouldn't. I think the Scar, being a weapons platform, is most significantly known in this colour scheme. In the box we get what looks like a front sight. We get a couple of spare screws, we get a couple of metal C-rings, and we get an Allen key. Not sure what the Allen key's for, but maybe we'll find out. You get a version 3 Guns Modify PMag. This one is obviously tan or FD, or whatever you want to call it, because it's coming with the tan gun. I think it does say tan on the box, so I'm gonna stick to saying tan. So very nice mag. We do have a couple of stickers on these as usual, which cover up the Magpul logos, and we've got a couple more on the side here. This is normal. So pull these off. You'll see you got PMag 30, Magpul Industries Corp, ARM4. And then what's under this one? It says like Gen 3. Oh, sorry. And all the bits and pieces there. So you just peel these stickers off and you're good to go. Leave them on if you want to. I don't know why you would. So you get a mag in the box and you get the Scar. Now, I'm not going to bother with the parts bits for now because many of you are probably chomping at the bit for me to have a look at the rifle. So I'm going to pull the rifle out. Quickly, I'm just going to go through the manual with you, just so you know. I'll do this in a way that I'll pause on screen. So if you want to pause the video and read any of this stuff, you can. So here is the very well presented manual here. Feel free to pause the video if you want to take a closer look or a bit more time on this. Just goes through everything with you on what you need to do. And that's everything in the box. Nice box. Cybergun, nice blue. What you'd expect from Cybergun. And I had to get on the first batch of this. The first time I saw the video of Guns Modify firing this, and it was like the prototype and it was all silver, and I think it had like cutouts in the receiver so you could see what was going on. I fell in love with it. Now, this isn't the first, gas blowback Scar on the market. WEs years ago, they were a pile of crap really, but we persevered with it because it was the only option that we had. I'm pretty sure VFC do a couple of models as well, and this is perfect for me because not only do I get a gas blowback Scar that, according to the videos that I've seen online, shoots and performs very well, it takes all the mags that I've got already, so it's kind of a no-brainer. Now, many people have pointed out that there are differences between the Mark 1 and the Mark 2 scars. I don't know what they are, but I'm imagining there's just little details on the exterior. The non-reciprocating charging handle is a great feature. Now, I shot the real Scar light in Vegas. I think it was 2016. If I can find the video, I'll put it up here so you can watch it.
When I can visually see that, hey, this guy knows what he's doing, you know, I'll let you do that stuff. Let me get your target set up. Why the weapon? I've never shot. I bet them there is. Cool. I always wanted to shoot a crank, and I live in New Jersey, so that's not ever going to happen.
I get a picture of that. And yeah, so when I shot the Scar at, I think it was Battlefield Las Vegas, the charging handle was on the left hand side, and stupidly I held the rifle, or I was holding the rifle like this, and the first shot, that reciprocating charging handle went straight. I don't think I was quite like this. I think maybe I was holding it like this and my palm was resting on it or something, but it did clip me, and I didn't make that mistake again. So we'll go through the markings. So through the rail, you can see on the sliding assembly that is connected to the charging handle, you've got 556 by 45 and an arrow. You do have some numbers there on the plastic rails. Moving backwards, obviously this being licensed through Cybergun, full trademarks, licensed by FN Herstal, Belgium, serial number there. We'll flip it over. Have we got anything else? This side is pretty much blank. You've got, of course, the numbers on the rail, nothing on the bottom, and you have numbered rails on the top there. The iron sights, you know, if you're used to a Scar, you know, you've got this little tab on the front. You just lever that forward and rock that up into place. Now, you do get a spare post for this. Maybe that's just in case it falls out. I'm not really sure. I mean, I never plan on using these iron sights, but there's the front one. And the rear one, and this is the first rear iron sight that I've seen where you have to push a button on the top to lever it up. Otherwise, you can't force it. You push it down, and then that enables you to fold the sight up and down. So you've got, I imagine, windage and elevation. Let's see if we can, yeah, we can turn that. So two wheels on the side do that. With it flipped up, you've got like a knurled section on the post, and you basically spin that, and that will raise up the rear iron sight. Just put that back down, and then you've got an aperture adjustment. So you'll see it's on the wide aperture here. It might not be the easiest to do. You flip that back, and you've got the narrow aperture there. I don't ever plan on using these. I'll leave them on the rifle, of course. The front one's obviously fixed to the gas block, but I never plan on removing them, but I'll be putting an optic of some kind on here. Now, the stock, it does come folded in the box, like you'll have seen. It latches into place really nice and sturdy. There's no wobble in it at all, which is great. Like, you know, us airsofters and, you know, disliking wobble. It's very positive on the friction on the hinge. So what I mean by that is it's not like loose and dangling like a cheap Scar would. It will be interesting to see. I mean, this button, I'm not sure if it is plastic or metal. It'd be nice if that is metal. It does kind of feel sharp on the knurling, so maybe it is. I could be wrong on that. So hopefully that's nice and strong and it doesn't break like the old Marui NGRS is. You've got a cheek piece here, which is in two positions, 1 and 2. That's it. You do have a notch cut there, so it will get around the iron sight if you move it back. And we've got the button on the back, of course, which you push that in. It is quite, you know, nice and stiff. There's a little bit of wobble there when it's fully extended. When it's in the stock, there's hardly any movement at all. And you've got like a stop pad on here. I'm sure there's pretty much nothing in there that we need to worry about. But if you had like an NGRS or anything like that, that's where your battery would go. So a nice stock, we haven't got to mess around with that. The mag release is okay, works on both sides, it's ambidextrous. You've got your bolt release on the side here. I always did like this about the Scars, that it's got a very prominent, easy to press sort of notch on the bottom, so it's easy to lock it back when the mag's not in. This, you'll see, is, it kind of sticks with the bolt, but if you push it, okay, maybe it doesn't. So what you'll see there is if I lock that to the rear, I can't push the bolt handle forward, which is strange. We drop the bolt back and you'll see that locks into position, and this should reciprocate, but you'll see there's a gap here on that. So when you break the charging handle from the front there, you'll see that gap minimizes. So there's obviously some kind of mechanism here that, you know, when you're using it, it sticks with the bolt, but then when it's forward, the bolt can reciprocate without that coming back. Now, I, of course, will be swapping this to the left-hand side as soon as I get around to doing so. With it charged, we can put it in safe. Now, if the gun is decocked, don't force it into safe, you will break it. So we'll charge it, we can then flick it into safe. The selector is found on both sides. Positive clicks. It's one thing that's plagued Scar replicas over the years. There's a little bit of movement in it, but honestly, as long as you get nice positive, reassuring clicks into your fire modes, I don't really care if there's a bit of movement. So the trigger, let's test that. So with it cocked, there is no take up. It's literally right on the wall, I think. Yeah, so it's right on the wall. We'll charge it back. We'll lever it forward. It comes forward. Clicks, and then it's right on the wall again. So actually, there's a little bit of like grittiness as it gets to the reset. So I don't know if you'll hear this. Hopefully, if I've got the microphone, you might be able to hear it, but yeah, so, but yeah, very nice trigger. What I did notice was you put the mag in, you tap it in, the mag release does sit proud of the receiver, but it is locked in place. It's just that does not sit flush, which is not really much of a bother, is it really? Flash hider. Not a fan of this style of flash hider, but I'm sure it comes on the real rifles. The adjuster, is that something that moves? Yes, it does move from side to side, but I imagine it's pointless. You've got obviously rail space galore around here. I know there's already people in the Jaeger Precision Discord. So there's a gentleman on there that's been messing around with like real front ends and stuff, which is pretty damn cool. And yeah, should we get to seeing how this thing functions? So Gen 3 PMag, got some propane, let's charge it up. Hopefully this mag doesn't leak. Just get a good 10 or 15 seconds or so in there. Make sure we've got plenty of gas. Oh, a little bit of hiss out the back of the valve there, but it's gone away. So we can tap the mag in, charge it back. It'll of course lock to the rear. We can press the bolt release to let it forward, and this is semi-auto. You see the charging handle didn't move. So that mag probably didn't charge it enough. However, I have a ton of normal MWS mags, so let's see if this suffices a little bit better. Yeah, it's got a lovely clang on that. A little bit of spring twang, but lovely noise on that. And then we go to full auto. So it's rapid on full auto, which is why you're seeing a bit of spit of gas there. But these mags are all cold because I've literally just filled them up. So they are not the warmest, but seems to work okay. Not like the videos that you see where they're just holding it down on full auto. It's kind of reminiscent a little bit to the GM416. But we will continue. So, not sure why this mag, maybe I didn't fill it long enough. I keep going here, make sure we've got plenty of gas in it. It's always good to give it a bit of a purge anyway. So we've got mag. Now this is a V3 mag, so many people still are unaware that the second version of the PMag speed loader that I did for the Gen 2s, it works with the Gen 2s, and then Guns Modify went and switched it up again to the Gen 3. So this probably isn't going to work. Put a couple in, it's just very stiff. So Guns Modify did something with the feed lips, and it just meant that the speed loaders weren't the best on the Gen 3s. So once I've got a fix, I'll of course update it. Let's just put a couple of rounds through it. So we can get the lock back. You can see it works there. Very good. And then what we'll do, we'll just squirt a little bit more propane there and let it settle. There we go. I have had my fair share of issues with these Guns Modify PMags. It's been a very love-hate relationship, I'll tell you that now. When you get to a game and they're all leaking, it's not the best of time. So you can take the base plates off these, and then what you can do is you push that all the way up till it clicks, and then you drop it down like so. So if you have bought a Guns Modify PMag Easy Loader and it's not loading your mags, you've probably got the version 3s. I've been very transparent with the version 3s being different. Version 1, version 2 mags, they work absolutely fine. So what you can do is you can just fill it like this. I'd never really liked this feature, to be honest, on these magazines. Because you can extend this out like that, and you can let them fall forward and do it like this. And the amount of times when I first had my PMags doing this in a safe zone and dropping them all out. So once you've done that, you press that button on the bottom of the mag and that releases the tension, and now your BBs will feed. So let that just normalise a little bit. In fact, while we're filling mags, we'll fill up a TM mag as well. These are 0.3 gram BBs, and you'll see with the TM mag, with the MWS standard mag Easy Loader, we just pop that on there and we press down with our finger. How easy it is to fill. I'm not going to fill it all the way up. Just get that out the way there. So propane in both of the mags, 0.3 gram BBs, it's what it's set to. We've got the GMP mag. A little bit of spring twang there. So first shot, we're doing 1.448 joules. 1.456 joules. So of course we're jaw creeping a little bit on the 3s. 2s are probably going to be a little bit lower. That one didn't function. And now we're not feeding. We do have one in the chamber. 1.427 joules there. We'll press the bolt lock to make sure it doesn't load another round in. We've going to place the guns 1FOP mag to one side. We're going to slap the Tokyo Marui mag in. Predominantly these are the mags I use, even though I've got a ton of P mags. What we'll do is we'll reset the chrono. There you go, 0.3 gram BBs. 1.516 joules. 1.524 joules. 1.511 joules. 1.484 joules. And 1.478 joules. Let's empty this mag on the standard mag. On semi-auto, this thing is rapid. It does feed on auto, and it does work. Much better than the 416, but they're just, they're not quite as efficient as a Marui, like a normal Marui MWS. But to be honest with you, although it works better on full auto than the GM 416, I'd probably never use it. The semi-auto on this thing is super snappy though. One thing I do want to point out is this rifle is really not heavy at all. And you might be thinking, bear in mind, I apologise if this is going to be a long video for you guys. I know you get a bit antsy. Well, to be honest, most of you are pretty respectful. There's just a couple out there that get a bit antsy. You might be thinking, well, how do I adjust the hop? Well, let's show you, shall we? You have to punch this pin out. Which is very tight. I was hoping it'd be nice and loose and clicky. So you punch that pin out, and then you should slot that forward, move that, and there is your hop wheel. So you can adjust it with your finger. To be honest, it's very easy to turn. Many people are a difference in opinion on this. I'm not a massive fan of it, just because if you have to pop the lower out, that means you've got to carry a tool to smack that pin out, unless you sort of really loosen it up and get it a little bit easier. But even just doing that there, it gets stuck, which, isn't a massive problem, because I'd rather the pin be tight than loose. Famous saying, I know. But that's how easy it was to get the lower off. You can see all the bits and pieces in there. It looks like an MWS trigger box, but it does look a little bit different. It's almost like a little bit like the Toxicant ones with the secondary lever for full auto. I've never took one of these apart before, so I'm guessing as much as you guys. So I'm not 100% sure how this comes out. I'm guessing this slides off. So we'll see if we can do this here. Yep, so I can just slide this down, and then we can release the recoil spring. Very interesting recoil spring there. Looks really well made. So you've got your main recoil spring here on the top, and then you've got a buffer at the back here, and that is actually really, really smooth. So they've incorporated the two. I don't think the spring twang's coming from there. I could be mistaken. And then I'm hoping we just pop the bolt out. So we pull the bolt to the back here. There'll be a little opening in the receiver. We can pull that out. And we can slide the bolt out. Now, what also has come out with this is the charging handle assembly. So this came out all as one. I'm not sure if it's meant to do that, but you can see here, it's got like a camming feature almost. So this can slide from this, but you see there, now it latches, and I think it's something to do with this. So when you're charging the bolt back, this is locked with the bolt handle. When the bolt comes forward, this latch is going to do something in the receiver, and then that enables this to be separated from the bolt. Quite a unique little design there. The bolt has got quite a bit of mass to it. We've actually got bearings for the runners in the receiver, which is a nice touch. They're captivated bearings as well. So that's to aid in smoothness of the bolt, I imagine. We are going to have to fit an end past this. It does feel quite dry. Now, you'll hear that spring twang as well. Let's get you a bit of a... And that's very easily fixed. What we do is we take this apart and we coat the nozzle spring in grease, and it will get rid of that. It happens on quite a lot of MWS replicas. And then with that apart, you'll be able to see the chunk that is the barrel housing. And I think you do have to pay attention when you're taking these apart. I think it's this screw here is thread locked in. So if you want to change barrel and hop and all that stuff, you have to make sure you heat that up before you pull it out. I imagine some company's going to come up with a way to adjust this without having to take the lower off. It's not the end of the world. It just means that if you're caught in a bit of a pickle, let's say you're mid-firefight, you ain't changing your hop very quickly unless, to be honest with you, right, okay, I'm going to tell you what I've just noticed, which nobody's mentioned as far as I'm aware. Let's put this back in. So we slide this mechanism in. I'm going to flip the charging handle to the other side. But you know, if you're a left-handed shooter, it's going to be good news for you. You can pop the recoil spring in, so the narrow bit goes towards the top of the rifle. So we thread that into the back. I know many people are probably going to disagree with me, but this thing is actually really well engineered. I'm very impressed with it so far. Got your lower. There'll obviously be a ton of like hop-up parts. And when I say hop-up parts, I mean like upgrades for this thing when the companies get their hands on it. I have thought about getting another one in black for when someone inevitably does an SC kit for it, because I've always wanted an SC scar, which is the short one with the PDW stock. So what I noticed was, which I haven't seen anyone talk about yet, and with this charging handle on the left hand side now, what I can actually do is as I pull it back, I can press that button. There you go. Is you can actually adjust this without taking the lower off at all. So you can actually see the wheel at the back there. I haven't seen anybody mention that yet. So you could very easily get like a little tool and yeah, you can turn the hot wheel, much like, you know, Tokyo Marui pistols when they have the wheel through the breech. So you don't have to take the lower off at all. I think it's maybe just one of those things that, I mean, was it Red Wolf that was reviewing this and they said you had to take the lower off? No surprise there, but yeah. For everyone fearing that you have to drop the lower to do the hop, you don't. You can do it through the breech, which I'm so glad. That was going to be my biggest criticism of this rifle, and it's just been yeeted out the window. So there is the Guns Modify Scar L or Light Mark II MWS. It runs, you know, MWS mags. It runs the best, which is most rifles now. It runs better on the original TM mags. And to be honest with you, I think I prefer the look of it with the TM mags, and I don't say that very often. With a normal like Stanag mag, I think Scars look a bit strange when they've got P mags in them. I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, I do like the look of that. This is going to be super cool. Another great addition to my vastly growing, that was already vast anyway, MWS collection. I hope you've enjoyed this. Now, if you have bought one of these, just before I go, Guns Modify did put a thing up on their Facebook page a while back. It basically says this product have a lot of places different. So it's basically saying this product has a lot of differences than a standard MWS AR. Please scan the QR code and read the user manual before play. So basically, before you do it, before you use it, scan this. Any type of little bits of information that you might miss that might be important when you take it out in the field, or whether you're just getting out of the box and playing with it, do that first. I haven't done it just because I'm recording on the thing that I would scan it with. And yeah, I hope you like this. This is just the first video. You guys know me. We're going to go into delve into it. I'm of course going to fit my preferred upgrade package, which is, you know, a Lilac 603 primary barrel, a Flamingo 60 hot rubber, and a Titan nub if it can accept it. If not, then we'll have to look at that. It uses MWS mags. It's going to need an M pass. I'm hoping it's just normal GM nozzle parts for MWS. If it is, I'll fit a Jaeger N pass in there. You will need it because this gun, maybe if you're using lesser powered or lesser pressured gases, you'll be okay. Maybe if you're using lighter BBs, you'll be okay. But if you're using 0.3s upwards, which most MWS users are, you're going to need an M pass to, you know, reduce the pressure. So let me know down in the comments below what you think about this thing. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out the links in the description below. And what are you playing at? If you haven't joined the Jaeger Precision Discord yet, make sure you do, because there's a vastly growing community there. We talk about anything and everything. We get on the voice chats as well. We're doing a lot of gaming at the minute with, I think the flavour of the month is Armour Reforger, but the servers are down mostly. So let me know what you think. Guns Modify, if you're listening. Well done with this. I'm really, really impressed with it. I'm sure people are going to pick it apart for little things. I don't say that lightly most of the time. I mean, the biggest MWS things that I think that have impressed me, like the Ghetto Blaster from Double Eagle, was fantastic. The GM416 wasn't the best. It does perform great, but the full auto is just unusable. And I think that's to do with tolerances in the receiver. I think the bolt can move up and down slightly and it rides over the BB instead of picking the BB up and putting it into the barrel. Semi-auto is fine, just full auto doesn't work. As you'll see, the Scar does work full auto. The mags are cold, as I've said, disclaimer. It's just cold here in the UK. You're just going to have to deal with it, guys. I wouldn't really be using full auto anyway. I never do on many of my other rifles because you just burn ammo for no reason whatsoever. But it's always a good thing to have in case you're in a bit of a pinch. You come around a corner or you see a bunch of guys standing together, you want to put some fire down quickly. I just think semi-auto is probably going to be the best way for you to do it. So I'm going to leave you there because we're already at like 31.5 minutes. Hope you've enjoyed it. Check out the links in the description, like I said before. And as always, from me and a very messy bench, we'll see you in the next video.